Right now, it's the final countdown for the farmers market. Chris is tracking what the weather will be like at the second to last outdoor farmers market after this week's bitter blast. And a Badger bounce back. Wisconsin football returns to Camp Randall to face Iowa, and both teams are coming off a bye week. Can the Badgers rally from 2 losses on the road? We have a preview of this afternoon's game.
From the Channel3000.com Alert Center, this is News 3 Now this morning.
Good morning, and thanks for starting your day with us here on News 3 Now. It's Saturday, November 9th, and I'm Keely Arthur, and with meteorologist Chris Reese. And Chris and I were just talking with some of the crew about when we start listening to holiday music. Chris, when did you start?
Okay, not full time, but the first willing Christmas music, that I listened to October 30th.
Well, I guess it's fair. It's already snowed. We have the high today is 41, which feels very warm. So,
I know. And that's exactly what happened. I was driving home during a snowstorm. Christmas song came on. My neighbors had their Christmas lights up. I went with it. But today, we're talking football, folks. Badger football at that. It is going to be warm for anyone who is headed out to Camp Randall. Kickoff temperatures should be right around 40 by halftime, and through the 5th quarter, we'll watch those temperatures slide back through the 30s. We'll see some clouds, but the moral of the story is we will be dry. And I think the true focus of the story is that this afternoon, we're talking temperatures right around 41 degrees, which, I sound like it's April and we're finally
really
warming
excited,
up. But it's going to be around 41. So we are going to see a warm up today. So it's not going to be as cold. But the cold air does come back by the time we get you into Sunday. And that Sunday night could come with a little bit of a light snowmaker ahead of that push of colder air. And folks, the colder air that's coming in next week is the real deal. We're talking lows that could be record breaking in the single digits. And some days that temperatures will struggle to get out of the teens. So those are the 3 things you need to know most about weather. And then I'll be talking more about that in a couple minutes when we kind of have an extended weather segment to dive into the details.
Yeah, because it is going to get way colder. Word to the wise, if you want to do something outside, maybe today's the day to do it.
Today's probably the better day. It'll be a little slick and wet with the melting snow, but it's the day.
All right. Thank you, Chris.
My pleasure.
Well, new this morning, President Donald Trump and the First Lady are getting ready to fly to Alabama to watch this afternoon's Louisiana State-Alabama game. Meanwhile, Democrats in Washington are getting ready for the impeachment probe to go public. One hearing, or open hearings rather, will be televised starting next week, a decision the president voiced his disapproval of as he boarded a plane Friday.
They shouldn't be having public hearings. This is a hoax. This is just like the Russian witch hunt. This is just a continuation.
Newly released transcripts from 2 key witnesses suggest the president's acting chief of staff, Mick Mulvaney, helped establish the terms of a possible quid pro quo. Friday, Mulvaney ignored a subpoena to testify and has downplayed his role. More local news now. Governor Tony Evers is proposing raising state employees' minimum wage to $15 an hour. He quietly released the 2019 through 2021 state employee compensation plan overnight. It calls for the minimum wage to increase beginning June of 2020. It also calls for a 2% across-the-board salary increase in each year of the biennium. The entire plan is subject, of course, to legislative approval. And UW-Madison will increase the minimum wage for hourly employees to $15 an hour. The release came out shortly after the governor's budget plan. The UW's wage increase will take effect in the spring of 2020. The university estimates the cost to boost the minimum wage will cost them about $1.1 million. In Milwaukee, the Common Council approved a new pilot program overnight, giving $500 a month to dozens of low-income families. It passed on a 12-3 vote. The 18-month pilot program will help 50 families in certain zip codes that will be identified within a certain margin of poverty. The money will be able to be spent any way the family chooses. A military record-keeping agency has confirmed the military service of a Milwaukee man charged with a hate crime. He's accused of throwing battery acid on a Latino man. The National Personnel Records Center confirmed Clifton Blackwell served in the Marines from 1975 to 78. His mother said he suffers from post-traumatic stress. The 61-year-old is charged with first-degree reckless injury as a hate crime in the November 1st attack. A Wisconsin National Guard sergeant has been discharged in retaliation for complaining about sexual misconduct in his unit. Master Sergeant Jay Ellis' complaint last year about alleged assaults within the 115th Fighter Wing in Madison has triggered 2 federal investigations, both of which are still ongoing. Ellis is now alleging that Guard officials have launched a review of his medical history to set up a medical discharge and deny him retirement benefits in retaliation. He says he plans to appeal the decision. And we have a First Alert traffic update this morning that could impact your weekend plans. Traffic shifts onto the new Verona Road overnight. Crews are putting the final touches on the expanded lanes between Raymond Road and County PD. Starting tomorrow morning, 3 lanes will be open for southbound Verona Road traffic. By Monday morning, 3 northbound lanes will be open as well. And the Badger football team is a 9.5-point favorite against Iowa this afternoon at Camp Randall. Kickoff is at 3 o'clock, and today's game will be a homecoming for Iowa running back Torrin Young, who helped Monona Grove High School win the championship back when he was a sophomore. This season, Young is Iowa's 2nd leading rusher with 366 yards and a touchdown. He's looking forward to returning to Madison because even though he's a Hawkeye, he's still a Wisconsin guy at heart.
It's definitely a great opportunity. I grew up not too far from the stadium and watched a lot of Wisconsin football, so to get the opportunity to go there and play against them is always fun. And it's exciting. A lot of family, friends, teachers, coaches will be there, so it's definitely fun. Both programs pride themselves on being physical and tough and playing that smash mouth, hard-nosed football. So it's definitely going to be a physical game, and it's going to be a good one.
And if you're going to be at the Badgers game or in the downtown area, expect to see a low-flying military aircraft. The State Department of Military Affairs says at approximately 3 o'clock, a KC-135 refueling tanker from Milwaukee will fly over Camp Randall as part of the pregame festivities. Tomorrow, the Packers are back to work. They'll host Carolina at Lambeau Field Sunday afternoon at 3:25. For the Packers, it's Carolina this week, a bye week, and then a road trip to San Francisco. Aaron Rodgers knows the team needs to get back on track with a win tomorrow.
This is an important one for us to bounce back. I think that's the main focus. Obviously, we know what's coming after this week. And we know what's coming after that week as well. This is an important one for us to get back on track, a home game. We've been good at home this year. We're 4-1 and, excited about the weather. The colder the better, I say this time of year. We can set ourselves up to be in a position to play some really meaningful games in December, but we got to take care of the ones at home.
Ahead of Veterans Day this Monday, a World War II veteran will be laid to rest tonight in Beloit, decades after being shot and killed in action. Sergeant Robert McCarville's remains was recovered from Papua New Guinea and identified using DNA. Sergeant McCarville signed up to serve in the Army after Japan bombed Pearl Harbor. He has 4 living siblings and many nieces and nephews who didn't expect to hear their loved one was coming home from war. His niece, who never met him, shares what it's like to have him home.
Always almost like a fairy tale, we had this uncle and we had this picture and we had these stories. Well, now we actually have our uncle.
Sergeant McCarville will be buried in Beloit next to his parents and receive full military honors. Very cool. Parents and students are getting ready for that first quarter report card, and studies show transitioning from elementary school to middle school can lead to worse grades. It's something researchers at UW-Madison are trying to prevent, along with attendance issues and behavioral problems at the 6th grade level. They came up with a simple survey asking those tweens about their biggest challenges and best advice, and then they're sharing those responses with their peers.
And I think that is something that is much more believable to kids and something that doesn't appear as something so preachy and something that they have to do. Rather, this was just simple advice that, look, this is tough for everybody.
That message of belonging and solidarity is one that's emphasized in Toki Middle School. We'll show you how teachers and administrators are doing just that and tell you why the UW's research could be an affordable option that helps all sixth graders. That's all tomorrow morning on News 3 Now This Morning, Sunday, starting at 6:30. For the first time ever, medical assistants are graduating from a new program at UW Health.
I think that's like the best thing to do, how we did the apprenticeship program. It actually helped us. We got to learn as we was learning in the classroom. We got to go into the clinics, also learn there, and I feel like it helped us more.
Throughout 11 months, the class completed 400 hours of classroom work and 2,000 hours of clinical instruction. Medical assistants are in demand. Students need to identify with underserved communities and have at least 1 year of work experience at Meriter, UW Health, or SSM Health to qualify. Schwinn is donating 125 new bikes to an organization that serves foster families across Wisconsin. Employees work to assemble the bikes Friday at the company's headquarters in Madison. The nonprofit organization Together We Rise will then distribute the bikes across the state. It's part of Schwinn's larger Give Back campaign, donating $125,000 worth of bikes to celebrate its 2020 year of business.
Kids in foster care often suffer from post-traumatic stress at twice the rate of our U.S. veterans. So it is a huge deal when you give a bike or you get that smile for celebrating their birthday or you take them to the theme park. It really helps alleviate that trauma.
Schwinn plans on donating $125,000, as you just heard. Time right now is 8:10. The sun is up, and it's time to head to the second to last outdoor farmers market of the year. You're taking a live look over the Capitol. Chris has your full farmers market forecast and your football forecast just ahead.
You know, it's a warmer Saturday out here in Wisconsin, and the reality is we are starting out warmer than where we topped out yesterday at 29. We're starting out at 30 this morning. Temperatures are substantially warmer than we were just 24 hours ago, but you will probably still want some sort of jacket as you head out the door. 31 in Madison right now, the Dells at 29. You head down towards Janesville, that's where the temperature is at 34 right now. We do have these winds coming out of the south and southwest at 9 miles per hour. As long as we have that southerly wind, it's going to keep things warmer today, but there will be a wind chill element. The wind chill right now, 23 in Madison. That should get better by the time the Badgers tip off at 3 o'clock today. We are looking at temperatures being right around 40 degrees for kickoff, and then we'll see those temperatures gradually slide back through the 30s going through the rest of the game. We'll see more cloud cover, but I do think we'll be staying on the dry side. Doppler track even showed some flurries during the overnight hours, but the air has been relatively dry for us, so a lot of that didn't make it to the ground, but it's possible that you saw a flake or two. A warm front is moving our direction. That's allowing that mild southerly wind to take over, and that's what's going to be in control for the rest of today. So watch how temperatures respond to that. Here we are at lunchtime. Those temperatures are already approaching the upper 30s. We'll top out into the low 40s for those highs today. And again, clouds will be on the increase. I can't rule out an isolated shower towards the north, though I still think the air is relatively dry, so most of us are going to be staying dry. Overnight tonight, those winds begin to turn more northerly. That's some colder air that's going to move in for Sunday. Sunday, those temperatures are going to struggle through the mid-30s for those highs. Then by Sunday night, an Arctic cold front moves in. Ahead of that cold front, you will see a little burst of snow. It should not amount to much. It'll be pushing down towards the south, but those temperatures are really going to plummet as we head into your Sunday and Monday. This is the big push of colder air that is on the way. That means a lot of temperatures are going to be struggling by the time we get you towards early next week. We're talking highs in the mid-20s on Monday, falling throughout the day. We'll go all the way down to 6 degrees Monday night. The record low is 7, by the way. So I do think our temperature is going to be falling quite substantially. Tuesday, we struggle out of the teens, though we'll stay dry, and then we gradually warm things up, perhaps another 40 in the forecast by next Saturday. We'll watch that one closely, but folks, the true story is enjoy that warmth today and brace for the cold that we're going to see early next week. You want to be prepared for that.
Chris, I do not care that it's 41-degree high today. I need you to come back inside. You're making me nervous without a coat on.
I will work on it.
I need you to stay healthy. All right.
Okay.
We'll see you soon. Thanks. Well, this week's snowy weather is a good reminder of why you should download our Channel 3000 weather app and traffic app. You'll be the first to know when weather that will affect your day is headed our way with the most up-to-date and accurate weather conditions. You can get it for free in your app store. Since it looks like Christmas came early outside, a holiday tradition 6 decades strong is back at Clausen's in Middleton. Staff dressed up this giant gingerbread house, and it's on display through the holiday season. The base is made of plywood, and it's covered with gingerbread cookies, icing, and decorations. Yum. And it's also officially bow season and the first weekend for the Salvation Army's Red Kettle campaign. Organizers say the money raised goes to help more than 4.5 million people during the holiday season. New this year, bell ringers will now accept digital donations through Apple Pay and Google Pay. You can make a donation in person at 63 Kettle stands across Dane County. You can also register to ring for an hour or two up on our website. Looking ahead, if you're still making your Thanksgiving Day plans, you might want to consider a trip to another city. Wallet Hub is out with its list of best places to go this holiday, naming St. Paul, Minnesota as #1. Scottsdale, Virginia Beach, Orlando, and Denver round out the top 5. Madison comes in at 33. Researchers looked at costs of Thanksgiving dinners, flights, volunteer opportunities, and weather. Time right now, 8:18, and Dennis Quaid does his best to survive the holidays in an upcoming Netflix series, and Samuel L. Jackson tries to outsmart the banking system in the upcoming movie The Banker. Plus, there are several new shows and movies to check out this weekend. Will shares his picks in 3 things to watch. Trending news is just ahead on News 3 Now this morning, Saturday. Welcome back. Let's take a look at what is trending this morning. Apple has released the first trailer for The Banker. The drama stars Samuel L. Jackson and Anthony Mackie as two businessmen who hatch a risky plan to help African Americans pursue the American dream back in the 1960s. The Banker hits theaters on December 6th, just before its Apple TV Plus release in January. And get ready for more hustle and bustle of the holiday season. Dennis Quaid tries to survive the hectic days before and after Christmas in the Netflix series Merry Happy Whatever. Quaid plays a strong-willed patriarch from Philadelphia who's balancing the stress of the holidays with the demands of his close-knit but eclectic family. Merry Happy Whatever will be available to stream on Thanksgiving. A little less than 3 weeks away from Turkey Day, you don't have to wait to watch something good. Here is Will Loper's 3 Things to Watch.
What were you employed to do?
I translated signals intelligence, and I reported anything of interest to my clients.
You're a spy.
New on digital streaming this week is Official Secrets.
Intelligence may be being manipulated to take this country to war.
I could get you a copy.
You're asking me to collude in a breach of the Official Secrets Act. Some call that treason.
Keira Knightley stars as British intelligence officer Catherine Gunn, who leaks a memo detailing illegal spying by the U.S. in the true life story.
Someone has betrayed their government and their country.
You might need our help.
If we do not go public, we would be conceding that no one can ever tell the people when their government is lying.
Official Secrets is available to rent or buy on all digital platforms now.
Do you want to risk it all?
A king has no friends. Only followers and foe.
Newly arrived to Netflix is the film The King.
A new chapter of my life has begun. As prince, I spent my days drinking, clowning. Now I find myself the king.
Timothée Chalamet stars as a young man who reluctantly takes the throne of England and has to deal with the palace politics and drama that come with it.
I need men around me I can trust. You are my friend. I will come with you. Now you will be watched over by an altogether different king.
The King is available to stream on Netflix now.
On me!
Oh, come on. You might want to just...
Finally, if you just want to watch explosions, muscles, and cars, Hobbs & Shaw is out on home video this week. Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson and Jason Statham star as two men who had too much testosterone with their breakfast cereal and must find a way to work together to stop super soldier Idris Elba.
We're gonna need cars and guns.
Oh, I can handle that part.
Hobbs & Shaw is available to rent or buy everywhere now. Happy watching. Those are the 3 things you need to watch, and this is Will Loper for News 3 Now this morning.
Thanks, Will. There is much more ahead on News 3 Now. Next, we're running through the morning's top stories, plus the cold case cracked. What we now know about the murder of a woman in Racine County 20 years later. We'll be right back. Right now, Job Market Jumpstart inside the innovative high school program preparing students for careers, no college degree or debt required.
From the Channel3000.com Alert Center, this is News 3 Now this morning.
Good morning. It's November 9th. I'm Keely Arthur. We're going to get a check on your first alert forecast with Chris in just a second. But first, here are 3 things to know as you start your day. President Donald Trump and the First Lady are getting ready to fly to Alabama to watch this afternoon's Louisiana State-Alabama game. Meanwhile, Democrats in Washington are getting ready for the impeachment probe to go public. Open hearings will be televised starting next week, a decision the president and many Republicans are against. Newly released transcripts from 2 key witnesses suggest the president's acting chief of staff, Mick Mulvaney, helped establish the terms of a possible quid pro quo. Friday, Mulvaney ignored a subpoena to testify and has downplayed his role. Governor Tony Evers is proposing raising state employees' minimum wage to $15 an hour. He quietly released the 2019 through 2021 state employee compensation plan overnight. It calls for the minimum wage to increase beginning June of 2020. It also calls for a 2% across-the-board salary increase in each year of the biennium. The entire plan is, of course, subject to legislative approval. And the Badger football team returns home this weekend. They'll hope to end a 2-game losing streak and beat the Hawkeyes. A big game for both of the teams today. The winner will still be alive for the top spot in the Big Ten championship game, but the loser will be out of the race. The Badgers have won the last 3 matchups against Iowa. Kickoff is set for 3 this afternoon. And to tell us how the weather's going to be at that point, Chris Reese. Hi, Chris.
Hello, Keely. Good morning. We're starting off on a warmer note out there. Temperatures are in the 20s and low 30s. Some folks are even above freezing. Janesville is at 34 degrees right now. La Crosse at 32, so they're at the freezing mark. Here in Madison, our temperature now at 31 degrees. We still have those winds coming out of the south and southwest at 9 miles per hour. That southerly wind is what is truly driving the warmer air that we are going to see later on this afternoon. Now, Weather Track did show some areas of some flurries overnight, but the air was dry, so a lot of that really didn't get the opportunity to make it to the ground. I think that drier air stays in place for us today, even as those clouds begin to increase. Temperatures, we go from 31 to 37 by lunch. Winds will stay out of the southwest at about 6 to 12 miles per hour. By the afternoon, the clouds will increase, but I'm seeing highs right around 41. You will want to soak that up because much bigger cold is on the way.
Oh, bad news, Chris. Thank you so much.
My pleasure.
For many students, one reason to get a college degree is to have the chance to make a good living. But for most, a degree also means debt. This year, about 70% of college students graduated with student loan debt, averaging around $33,000. One innovative high school program is preparing students to move straight into good-paying jobs without a college degree or even trade school. Barry Peterson talked to those students and has more.
It looks like an aircraft maintenance hangar, but it isn't.
Do you guys have your stethoscope?
Or a real hospital room.
My chest is tight.
Not that either. And yes, this is a fully equipped auto repair shop.
Let us know when you have a good connection.
Some cars are right off the assembly line.
What else is dangerous under here? High voltage, everything.
But these aren't mechanics, not yet. They are students at an unusual high school called the Cherry Creek Innovation Campus, where 16-year-old Taylor Oden has a plan. Go from high school to work.
My mom wasn't very ecstatic about it. Would rather me go to college. And so is my dad, but understands that you don't need to go to college to be successful nowadays.
And at auto service facilities like this one for Rickenbaugh Cadillac in downtown Denver, mechanics' salaries can get high, says service manager Blaze Flaherty.
You could do as well as $100,000 or plus with the right shop, the right amount of work, the right amount of education, and the right amount of dedication.
Wow, that's more than comfortable.
The school opened this year, a $43 million custom-built facility with specialized classrooms. Like this fully equipped restaurant kitchen, designed to mimic real-world settings where the learning is hands-on.
We're building a tower vertically.
Students are volunteers and must also attend and pass regular high school classes to get their diploma. And while some students may go on to college, others here will go right to jobs. That was a tough sell for Principal Mark Morgan.
I get the sense that a lot of parents are not always comfortable with the idea of not going from high school right to college.
And so for parents, we're really trying to educate as well that what really matters is having a successful plan where a student will graduate high school and go into a career where they can be happy and healthy and something that can sustain them.
What areas are you experiencing pain in?
My leg hurts.
Oh, okay. So that sounds like something within your scope to go ahead and help her with.
The most popular class is 4 months of training to be a certified nurse's aide. Teacher Melissa Legg is a registered nurse.
That certification exam, once they pass it, they have it in their hand. They can go to that employer and say, I'm certified to work as a CNA in a hospital, home health, long-term care, rehab, you name it.
What's the demand for these students in terms of people looking to hire them?
They want them yesterday, basically.
It took a lot of work to create an aircraft mechanics class. First, they needed aircraft. They bought a used 1981 helicopter and 2 planes that were flown to a nearby airport and then, at dawn on a Sunday morning, towed to the school.
What do you think would happen with that dent right there?
We take this part off and then just restructure that, I guess.
Thor Barlow is a senior.
What does it mean to you, Thor, to have this kind of opportunity to learn by doing?
I absolutely love it. I'm a very visual learner. I'm a very hands-on learner. You can go inside, like you can see all these open engines. You can see how all that works, how it fits together, how if this doesn't work, it can either affect just a little bit of the engine or the entire thing.
And the school got FAA approval to graduate certified aircraft mechanics, training that instructor David Williamson says can be very pricey.
If these kids had to go to a school, what would it cost them to get this certification?
About $40,000.
Really?
Really.
And this is basically free?
Basically free, yes, sir.
And are there jobs out there when they walk out of here?
Yeah, there's plenty of jobs out there.
Another skill students learn, how to succeed after they've landed a job.
So 30% of every student's grade on this campus is about professional skills. It goes to work ethic, showing up to work on time, what it means to truly collaborate, what it means to lead and to be led.
And that's the real lesson taught here, that success can be a good career with good pay and doing what you love.
It's life-changing.
Yeah, that's
it is.
Very cool. More local news now. A 64-year-old woman from Florida is now charged in the 1999 murder of a woman in Racine County. The victim had been a Jane Doe up until now. She's now identified as 23-year-old Peggy Lynn Johnson. The person arrested is Linda LaRoche of Cape Coral. She's charged with first-degree intentional homicide and hiding a corpse. Investigators say the victim's body was found in a cornfield in '99 in the town of Raymond.
Peggy is currently buried as Jane Doe, as we know, at the Holy Family Cemetery in Caledonia, Wisconsin. In the coming weeks, we are going to make arrangements for Peggy Lynn Johnson to be buried alongside her mother in Belvidere, Illinois, where she can be laid to rest with her true identity and at some level of peace.
Officials say the victim was cognitively disabled, and at age 18, her mother had died. That's when LaRoche took Johnson into her care. LaRoche is currently in custody in Florida. She waived extradition and returns to Wisconsin to face charges. Heads up for hunters, the state has a reminder for you before you head up north to the cabin for deer hunting season. Any firewood you're taking with you should stay behind. The state says it can be illegal, and it's always a bad idea moving firewood across county lines. Invasive species like eggs from gypsy moth and emerald ash borer can travel with the wood and cause major issues across the state. In fact, 50 counties are quarantined for gypsy moth. Instead, plan to purchase your firewood at a location that you're headed to. Time right now is 8:38, and looking for something to do this weekend? Well, Chris and I have got you covered. From the perfect event for all dog lovers to an early way to get in the holiday spirit. Your Weekend 608 is next on News 3 Now this morning. It is the weekend in the 608.
Hey, here's a look at what's happening around town.
All right, calling all dog lovers. This Sunday at the Alliant Energy Center is the Wisconsin Dog Fair. It's the perfect thing to attend if you're considering getting a dog but don't know what breed is right for you. At the fair, you'll be able to talk to experts on different dog breeds, learn about veterinary care, and even watch dogs run agility courses and dance. Who knows, you might meet your new best friend.
Now, can you pet dogs here?
I think so. You would imagine at the dog fair, petting is allowed. Yes.
Yeah,
we might just show up. We don't want a dog, but we'll go there anyway.
Well, it will be a cold one for runners of this year's half and full marathon. The Madison Marathon kicks off tomorrow morning. That's going to start at the Capitol and then work its way down through the UW Arboretum campus, past Warner Park, and then back to the Capitol, with the last runners finishing right around 1:30. There are lots of places to watch and cheer on the participants. Police officers will be stationed throughout the course, allowing people to cross only when it can be done so safely. Route maps are available on the city's website.
It should be a cold one for those people, and countdown to the holiday season is on right now. You can feel it in the air. The 31st annual Holiday Fantasy in Lights at Olin Park will turn on for the year today. Santa will flip the switch on at 6 o'clock. 6 o'clock tonight, the 7-week display will go on starting tonight. The Fantasy 5K run starts at the same time, and the public can start driving through the lights at 7. The lights will be on from dusk until dawn through January 4th.
Already writing that into my calendar. I will be there. But as always, you can get this month's copy of Madison Magazine for all of the best that Madison and the Madison area has to offer.
Awesome. And coming up next, you're going to take a live look over the Capitol. Chris will have your full forecast just ahead. But first, let's take a look at who is turning 3 today. Happy birthday to Thomas. We'll be right back.
We're watching milder temperatures for the first part of the weekend. Some more clouds and a chance of some snow as we head into Sunday night, and then record cold is going to be on the horizon. That's the three things to truly take away from the forecast. But folks, I do want to start with the milder temperatures that are out there. Temperatures today are substantially warmer than we were at this time yesterday by 18 degrees in Madison. Black River Falls is 24 degrees warmer than just 24 hours ago. That's where their temperature is 33. In Madison, we're at 31 right now, 30 in the Dells. Our friends in Janesville are above freezing at 34, and we'll continue to warm up because we have those winds coming out of the south. A southerly wind is in favor of warmer temperatures, but the breeze does create a little bit of a wind chill, so it feels like 23 as you step outside. Things get better as we head towards the afternoon. The Badgers will be kicking off today around 3 o'clock. I do think kickoff temperatures should be at 40 degrees. Clouds increase throughout the game. Temperatures gradually slide back down into the 30s, but we should be staying dry. Speaking of dry, Doppler track did show some flurries that tried to move through as we went through the overnight hours, but the air was just so dry. A lot of that was not able to make it to the ground, but that precipitation is coming our direction, or was over us anyway, all because of this warm front that's pushing on towards the north and east. That's opening up the door for our winds to come out of the south, and that is why we are warmer today. And watch just how warm we are going to get. By 11 o'clock, temperatures will be into the mid and upper 30s. We'll top out right around 41 for that high today, which will be about 20 degrees warmer than where we're going to be by the time we get you into early next week. The clouds stick around. You may see a light sprinkle or flurry as you work your way towards the north. Pay attention to this, though. Winds will actually turn out of the north overnight into your Sunday. So Sunday will warm up towards about 35, but beyond that, temperatures begin to fall Sunday afternoon. Here we are at 10:30 Sunday night. Temperatures are in the 20s. This is an Arctic front that's pushing its way on in, and I do believe that we may see an area of light snow break out throughout southern Wisconsin. It won't amount to much, but that'll continue to push towards the south. Then notice the teens back throughout northern and central Wisconsin on Monday morning. This is that colder air that's moving on in. In fact, folks, by the time we get you towards Monday, our highs stay into the 20s. We'll go down towards 6 degrees Monday night into Tuesday. We struggle getting out of the teens. But from there, things are looking up. We get a little bit warmer each and every day towards the weekend. Saturday will be around 40 again.
So not going to see maybe as much snow as we have in the past few weeks, but
I'm not thinking so. This air mass that's coming in is truly Arctic in nature. There's not a lot of moisture with it, so it's dry. But that doesn't mean you can't see flurries.
All right. Thank you, Chris.
My pleasure.
So much to cover already. It's not even winter yet. Well, we've been asking you to share your morning with us and check out this gorgeous photo sent in by Bubba, who is actually directing this show right now. He took this of a shipping barge going down the Mississippi River. Thank you for sharing. And what does your morning look like? You can take a picture and post it on the Channel 3000 Facebook page or on Twitter using the hashtag MyNews3Morning. We will share our very favorites right here on the program. And you can stick with News 3 all day long, and then tomorrow morning we'll take you to one of Madison's newest eateries, a coffee shop that's combining ethnic food and fresh brewed drinks, filling a void we didn't even know we had. But first, fighting cancer one punch at a time, we'll introduce you to a fierce group of survivors working to knock out a common enemy and inspiring us all in the process. We're back in a moment. Welcome back. Finally this morning, every year, nearly 2 million Americans are diagnosed with cancer. Now, one innovative organization is letting cancer survivors lace up their gloves to knock it out.
Chip Reed is at a boxing gym near the nation's capital where some of the fighters train.
Let's go! At age 31, Annie Dragilich got blindsided by breast cancer.
Round one.
But now, healthy, she picked this fight.
Did you ever, in your wildest dreams, imagine yourself in a boxing ring?
Never, no.
Annie is here with the help of Haymakers for Hope, a nonprofit that pairs people who are literally fighting for a cure.
Let's just say you don't want to fight a cancer survivor.
The group's founders met at the gym.
So you are a champion amateur boxer.
Yes.
Am I beyond your range where I'm sitting right now?
I can get to you pretty quick.
Julianne Kelly is also a cancer survivor.
After treatment, I kind of fell into a little bit of a depression, and I just said to myself, you're here. Other people don't get to experience what you're experiencing. Throw that out and do something good. And I started boxing, and I just absolutely fell in love with the sport. It was medicine for me just as much as chemo and radiation was. It was something that I needed.
Now in its 9th year, Haymakers for Hope has raised more than $13 million at 26 events, including Bells of the Brawl, featuring female fighters, Rumble in the Rockies, and this one in Washington.
1, 2.
Where Pranav Vora, a lymphoma survivor, also stepped into the ring.
Is there anybody you know who you think might be looking forward to you getting punched in the face?
Oh, plenty of people, yeah, absolutely.
I'm sure I have some exes out there.
Go. Haymakers for Hope provides a trainer and a gym, and they're not pulling any punches.
This is the real thing.
This is the real thing, yeah. I expect that my opponent's going to come out ready to knock me out, so.
Seriously, knock you out.
I mean, I hope
Not
she
just
doesn't,
win.
but.
Annie spent 4 months in grueling training, learning how to defend against and land haymakers of her own. Pranav trained 5 days a week. Even with his own business, 2 young kids, and a wife who wasn't always on board.
I didn't tell my wife until after the fact. And so every day she's like, if you want to continue doing anything like this, we're going to have a discussion about it.
But on fight night, she was in his corner.
Are you nervous?
I'm so nervous. We found out I was pregnant and he had cancer in the same month.
Annie's cheering section.
Look at her.
Included her mother and sister, also a cancer survivor.
She is tough.
Tough enough to beat more than breast cancer.
And the winner, awesome Annie Dragilich. Are you surprised?
No.
No.
What did I tell you? I said
You said you were going to win.
Winning with the confidence that comes when you've already won the fight of your life.
And you don't have to be a cancer survivor to do this. Anyone who wants to fight cancer can volunteer. Next month, they'll hold their biggest event yet in New York and are hoping to take the cause around the country. And Chris, as you said, Mother Nature packing a punch as well.
Especially they are battling it out between fall and winter. Winter is just winning overall by quite a lot. In fact, by Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, that cold front is going to pack such a punch that we decided to throw 3 alert days in the forecast just to make sure you're aware of the cold. Tuesday, most temperatures will struggle to get out of the teens. That 20 is being generous on our forecast there. A lot of the models have those highs between about 15 and 17 and 18. So Tuesday is the day to be prepped for the cold. We'll start out Tuesday morning at 6 degrees. The record low for that day, by the way, 7. So we could start charting new territory here. We'll see.
A list of record-breaking weather events already this year, and we'll see what happens next. Thanks for watching, everybody. Have a great day. We'll see you tomorrow.